Good afternoon and welcome to Rebels Radio latest interview. I'm joined once again by Slough Town Joint Manager, John Underwood. How are you, John?
Good, thanks, John. You?
Yeah, good. Still kind of reflecting on yesterday a little bit, and so interested to get your thoughts over the next 5 or 10 minutes or so. So talk us through the day. How was the journey down and the welcome you got?
Yes, it's a fair old trip down to Weymouth. There was quite a bit of traffic, so it was... Yeah, we didn't get there till, I think we left at 10. We got down there just after 2 o'clock, so it was a bit slow going, but... you know, sometimes it's not ideal to get down there really early and be stood around waiting. So we had a good chance to have a bit of fun on the coach on the way down, and we got down there in plenty of time.
Did it affect your preparation at all?
No, not at all. No, we were there in good time. We didn't have lots of time, but we had plenty of time to get warmed up. So no issues there at all.
Nice warm welcome, good ground.
Yeah, lovely ground. Nice big stand. We said it's one of those places we were looking forward to going to, it was one we were very, very excited about going to. Had a real good feel about it. Good crowd, I think 800 plus there. Good number of Slough fans, which was great to see. We were well supported again. It was a game we were really excited about.
And how did you prepare the team? Obviously, you had a few injuries still. What was your starting 11?
Yeah, we unfortunately we didn't have Guy. He wasn't fit from his the groin problem he picked up in the week. So the positive news was that we had Johnny Dyer and Eddie Smith back, and they trained twice, and we decided to throw them both straight in. Obviously, they were a big part of our success last year. They played very well as a pair, and we wanted to go with them up front. We brought in George Frith on the right of midfield. Not probably his most natural position. He's more a central player, but with two up front and an attacking player in Dobbo on the left, we wanted to have a bit more balance, and so we went with George on the right.
The game started with great intensity, great pace. It was thrills and spills all the way through, and I'm sure we're going to come on to some of the more controversial moments as we go through. But how did you feel Slough settled?
Yeah, we were quite pleased actually. I thought first 20 minutes, we gave a good account of ourselves. They were clearly a strong side, but I think we started with a lot of confidence. Thought we played some good stuff, and I think they scored probably about midway through the first half, and I thought at that time we were quite pleased with how we'd started, and a little bit disappointed, to be honest, on the goal. I felt that it wasn't a free kick. The ref penalised Tom Moran, said it was deliberate handball. Which we didn't share that view at all, to be honest. And
no, he's quite close to the ball.
Yeah, I don't know how he could have done that deliberately, to be honest. There's a big question mark whether it even hit his hand. Certainly wasn't deliberate, but those things happen. I think they obviously tried to play a bit of a training ground routine on the free kick, and I don't think it quite went to plan, but it took a couple of ricochets and fell straight to their lad, and he smashed it in, to be fair, but a little bit unfortunate. We felt a little bit unfortunate to go behind to that goal, to be honest, but unfortunately then we got a bit ragged. They very nearly scored again.
Yeah, there was a mad scramble in the box when Sills hit the post.
Yeah, I don't know how that didn't go in, to be honest. Yeah, Sills hit the post, and then there was a bit of a few ricochets around the box. Summers actually did great to get back and stop the ball on the line. I think that an offside was given at that point anyway, but we got that was probably our poorest spell of the game, and it was probably 10 or 15 minutes where we weren't defending well. They were getting a lot of joy against us.
Particularly Kelly, and I think it was Shepherd looking really dangerous, getting lots of space to run in between midfield and at the back four. Yeah,
they play differently to a lot of teams in the league. They really bomb they play 4-4-2. They really bomb their fullbacks on, and their wide midfielders don't really play as wingers. They come in and they get on the ball and they take up different positions. And to be fair, we struggled to cope with that a little bit. We didn't defend as well as we need to against teams like that. Certainly for that spell, and the game could have probably been out of sight then.
Yeah. What did you make? There was the incident between the two numbers 8, and obviously Clergy got booked for it. There's some Weymouth fans shouting that he should have been sent off. What was his opinion? What was your opinion?
Our opinion was, we got the free kick. Their guy clipped Clergy. We ended up getting the free kick. I think he, I'd say, brushed him off. I certainly wouldn't call it an elbow. I don't want to go overboard on the referee. The referee's performance had no outcome on the game. I don't believe. I think the result.
He was poor for both teams.
Yeah, he was, and to be fair, they came up to us right at the start of the game and said we've had him before. He's awful, and I don't like criticising referees, but I thought he had a real. I thought he got made a lot of decisions we didn't agree with. Let's put it that way, and a lot of free kicks for kind of body contact. I mean, one against Reece York where he just used his strength. The lad trod on the ball and fell over, and he booked Reece. You know, it's some. When you have the two benches looking at each other, shaking their heads, laughing, he's not having a good day.
What did you make of the penalty when Ed Smith did Ed make the most of it? Was it a penalty?
I think it was a penalty. I think Ed did what a lot of centre forwards will do in that situation. He made sure the keeper clipped him. It wasn't a dive. There was definite contact, but I think Ed, knew what he was doing and let the keeper clatter into him. Wasn't a sending off. I think maybe at the time we thought it might have been. On reflection, I think Ed's touch was heavy. It was going wide of the goal, so wasn't a goal scoring opportunity. So I think it was the right decision.
And then you pulled it back to a goal deficit. Maybe slightly fortuitously. In terms of the overall game, the pattern as it was, Weymouth could have been a couple clear at that stage. And then there's the kind of killer blow on half time when you just concede. Again, just as you're probably thinking about what you're going to be saying at half time. Yeah,
there's 46 minutes I think on the clock when they scored, and we'd have gone in at 2-1 really happy in that we were still in the game. Would have fancied ourselves second half. I mean, the third goal it didn't kill it, but made it very difficult. It was a bit of a blow to go in at half time with that 2-goal cushion. And again, it was I don't want to say poor defending. I think it was naive defending from us yesterday. I think we had a young. You look at our back four and keeper, and 4 out of those 5 are kind of 22 and below, with not lots of experience at this level. And we talked about this at the start of the season. Obviously, we lost Woos. We brought in Gary McDonald and then lost him straight away. Yeah. And I think there was a concern that we might be a little bit light of leadership and experience at the back. And then maybe for the first time we saw that a little bit yesterday. I think but that's not being harsh on the lads. That I think Reece York's been fantastic for us this season. He's been week in week out. He's played ever so well, and he actually, I'm sure he won't mind me saying, he texted me this morning. He's watched the goals on the link on Twitter, and he's put his hand up, second and third goals, and said he lost his man, and all he wants to do is improve and learn, and it's mine and Bakes' job to help him learn, and Tom as well. And it's great that he's got that attitude. He'll look at it and he'll be critical of himself. And all we ask is that these lads learn from those things. And in an ideal world, we'd probably have a little bit more experience there, but we're learning as we go. These boys are learning. As long as they do learn from these mistakes, then we'll be fine. And we're not gonna be overly critical, and because the majority of yesterday I thought we played well. There were just spells where we just showed a little bit of naivety, not just the back four, midfield as well. I think the third goal came from us not reacting to a knockdown. Their 11 Shepherd, who thought was outstanding, reacted quicker than our midfield did, and they were clinical, and we'll have to learn from that.
So what did you say at half-time to pick the boys up just after they've gone a couple of goals down again? What did you do to try and kind of maybe instill some organisation or just set them up differently for the second half?
Yeah, well, we did. We talked about just what I've talked about there really, in terms of how we defended. I thought we got a little bit strung out defensively. They were looking to play little clever balls down the sides of our centre-halves, and we made it easy for them to do that. So we tried to get them to defend a little bit narrower, a little bit more compact. And I think, to be fair, we improved second half from that point of view. They did have a few chances, but we were obviously pushing to get back in the game. So we tried to be positive at half time. We've come back from 2-goal deficits before, and we said, go out. If you get the next goal, they might just go a little bit, and that was the plan. Yeah,
there wasn't that many clear-cut chances that you had in the second half. It was still quite an open game, but there wasn't really any glaring misses or any shots on goal that you thought, hang on, this might have just turned the tide. Was that a little bit frustrating?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't through the lack of trying. I mean, we went there very bold. As I said, 2 up front. Dobbo's a very attacking wide player. Jamie McClurg gets forward a lot. A lot of teams go there and sit men behind the ball. It's not really our style. I mean, some people will say, oh, maybe you should have been a bit more compact and maybe played 4-5-1, and if we'd have done that and lost 2-0, everyone would have said you should have gone 2 up front. You weren't hurting them enough. So it's very difficult. We tried to be positive. We thought we had the the attacking players in the squad to hurt them, and we have gone there and scored 2 goals, but we just didn't defend well enough at times. But we got that goal early in the second half from Reece. One of our set pieces, we worked hard on them again Thursday night. We felt we'd got a little bit sloppy on our set pieces in recent weeks, weren't using them as we should and making the right runs. So we went through them all on Thursday, and it got its rewards again. We've scored a good number of goals from set pieces, and that was really pleasing to see. I think it was just a bit frustrating that we didn't then build on that and create a lot more. I'm looking back. We had a volley from Alex Whittam near the end from a great diagonal ball from...
Good run from Dobbo as well.
Yeah, we had the break from Dobbo where he did everything right, got himself into the box, and I think we had 3 waiting for a cross, and he went to shoot, which was frustrating. He'd done everything right. He'd probably travelled 40, 50 yards with the ball, and I think if he'd have picked one of our lads out, we could have scored. But they had chances as well. So
Somerville was called into action quite a few occasions, and there was, it was certainly kind of tense stuff there towards the end. And Weymouth seemed to just take that slightly more experienced, as you've touched upon earlier, that kind of experience. There was a little bit of gamesmanship, time wasting, and that sort of thing. Did that frustrate you?
Not really. That's kind of what you expect from these sides. I mean, they are experienced. You look at their side, and the front 2 have both played league football. The 4 has Chris McPhee, very experienced at centre half. I think the 11 was at Exeter. They're all lads that have played a higher level of football, and the majority of ours are stepping up at the moment. And I know some. We shouldn't expect too much. We do. We go there thinking we can compete with these teams, and I think on another day we could have done. But it's tough, and we're not probably at the stage yet where we can go to a Weymouth and get a win unless everything goes for us, and that wasn't the case yesterday.
On reflection, if you had snatched a late equaliser, would that have been harsh on Weymouth? Would that have been a bit of a snatch and grab?
It would have been. I think
you wouldn't have said no, though.
No, I think I said in the interview last week. We've had some games where we've been in the lead and then dropped the 2 points. So, I wouldn't have been felt guilty about taking that point. But I think 3-2 is probably a fair result, and they're a very good side. I think we gave a good account of ourselves. We made some mistakes which we've identified, and as long as we learn from them, then we'll become a better side because of it.
And we've got another opportunity to do that very quickly again against a top side. In fact, top of the table on Tuesday, down in Dorset again, away to Poole. That's going to be a hell of a challenge.
Yeah, it is. They're flying. They've had a great start. They've won 4 out of 4 at home. I think they've conceded 2 goals in 8 games, so they're fairly solid at the back. I think it's fair to say. We've had some reports, some very good reports on them. So I expect just as tough a game, if not tougher than yesterday. So,
what's your squad news ahead of that? Obviously Eddie came off yesterday with an injury. Guy Hollis was missing. You might know a little bit more about Warren Scout by then, but he's not going to be anywhere near back. But
Eddie didn't. The hamstring didn't go. He just felt it tighten. Okay. And to be honest, it was about an hour in, I think, and we just said that it's probably we were looking to maybe make a change. And as he was coming back from a hamstring, we weren't expecting him to do 90, and he was one we were looking to probably take off. And just before we did it, he just pulled up a bit. So hopefully he's come off as a bit of a precaution, and he's obviously had loads of ice on it on the way back, and we'll have to see how he is. It might be a bit too soon. We might have to, we can't let it become an ongoing problem. So we'll have to make a call on that. Johnny was fine. He just ran out of steam with 5 minutes to go, but I thought Johnny did ever so well yesterday. He's such an important player for us, and so he'll be fine for Tuesday. And we've got our fingers crossed with Guy. We don't know at the moment. We'll have to see, but it would be a big boost if we could get Guy back in the side. Yeah.
Well, we look forward to hearing all about that. Yesterday you also had a fairly long journey back, didn't you?
Yeah, 4 hours to get there and 5 to get back, which was a bit frustrating. It just, I think we went a bit of a funny route back. So
took in some sights,
I think we're going to chip in and get the driver a sat nav for the next journey.
Yeah, and the mood on the bus, started off it wasn't great, and then boys relaxed, had a couple of beers, and things were all right. And then obviously the news filtered through to the players, certainly around the passing on of Dave. How did that affect people?
Yeah, it was really sad to hear. yeah, obviously I think someone put something on Twitter, and the word went round on the coach, and yeah, the mood did change. It's very, everybody, some of the lads haven't been there long at all, some of the new boys, but we've only been there just over a year, but we appreciated what a big part of the club Dave was. It was a privilege to have met him and shared the success from last season with him. I know there were some pretty special moments at rugby and at Kettering last season with him. It's just desperately sad. You've only got to look at Twitter and the forum and all the comments to see how highly people regarded him and what a big part of the club he was. People on the coach, obviously, like Kev McGoldrick, Mark Betts, have known him for a good deal longer than we have. So, they were pretty upset by it, as you can imagine. And and I know the lads tweeted as well. They wanted to sort of say their bit, and our thoughts are obviously with Dave's family. It's a really, really sad time, and however the club chooses to kind of mark that his life, we'll do whatever we can to support it. Yeah,
well, I'm sure on Tuesday away at Poole he'll be looking down and wishing you on, giving you a little bit of advice from above.
I'm sure. Yeah, and it's a bit of a cliche, isn't it? It'd be lovely to go and get a win, for him on Tuesday. And I think I put something on the forum today. I think he will be looking down on us, I'm sure, and we've just got to try to keep doing our best. We worked so hard to get that promotion, and I know he enjoyed it probably more than anyone last year. So we need to just keep trying to do him proud.
Well, we look forward to a decent performance on Tuesday, and thank you very much once again as ever for your time.
No worries.
We'll talk to you later in the week.
All right, cheers, John.
Cheers.